Our agents, for the last couple of years, our market has seen commission compression on the buyer agent side, especially, we're a growth market. We've got a lot of builders not offering compensation. Our agents have been negotiating their commission on the buy side for a very long time and getting above market, rates. And so they were like, oh, this is cool. Like, it's the same thing. So they know how to get the gap. If somebody's offering 2 and they're charging 3 or 4, they know how to get the gap. There are agents in our market, actually, an hour from here, that are getting 2 times the amount of what is normal, let's just say, in MLS. So it just depends on, again, your value, the buyer. There's always going to be discount buyers. There's always going to be FSBO buyers, FSBO sellers, people that want to save a buck. If I'm going to go into a multi-million-dollar deal or $1 million deal or a $500,000 deal or $250,000 deal, I'm not a do-it-yourselfer. I'm just not. And I've always paid for value. And so when you think about, even with women, there's a difference between Coach and Louis Vuitton and Chanel. Why? They're all the same leather, but the perceived value of the Chanel bag is different than the Coach bag because of the advertising and the marketing that Chanel did. And so that's what we said to our team. We are the professionals. We train every day. We come in every day. We prospect every day. We're having conversations. We're leading. We're professional decision maker uppers. We guide our clients to make decisions. Therefore, they're going to pay us for our knowledge and our expertise. That's it. And if they don't want to pay us for our knowledge and expertise, then they can go get the door opener down the street. In fact, we'll have a list ready for them. Hey, these are the agents that are opening doors for $50. If you want to spend $500,000 and have a door opener, here's the list. But that's not us. So as long as we know who we are, I think we're just going to be fine, and we're going to find our buyer pool.
Tina, real quick disclaimer before we move forward. We're not suggesting that anybody charges a certain particular commission, by the way. We want to stay out of antitrust lawsuits. So any of you blood-sucking attorneys who are watching this and thinking of that's what we're suggesting, we're not suggesting that you charge any of those percentages. It's a free market. Everything's negotiable. Anybody can charge whatever their worth is, and that's kind of our point.
Yeah.
But just want to make sure that that's clear.
Yeah, we charge different fees to different sellers, different, depending on what they need. I mean, our fees are all over the board.
So Tina, the biggest thing, right? So I'm hearing from you. Obviously, it's like I said, you're a massive training organization. You believe in skills that travel. I mean, look at your career, look at your foundation, just your ability to articulate your value over the phone. And I think we can step back and realize, we are the minority. And you look at the majority of these agents out there that don't understand value, don't know how to articulate their value. So then that puts a compression in a race to the bottom. So how are you kind of seeing and really, trying to amplify the message from a marketing perspective out there? Because it's going to be a wait, right? We've always talked about, a defining gap between, the true experts and then the rest of everybody else, right? There used to be 3. I think it's just going to be 2, right? It's going to be a massive bottom feeders and then just the very, very few elite. So how are you, one, keeping their mindset, their value articulation, being able to do that, but also kind of changing the way they think from a marketing perspective, because buyers don't know any different. Sellers don't know any different. Like, how are you being able to convey that message, the message to the market, to articulate your value proposition consistently to where, we don't fall into the masses with a race to the bottom?
Well, I think that, when you look at the thousands of sales that are being done, listings, let's take listings, for instance, there are strong listing agents and then there are weak listing agents. There are flat fee listing agents and then there are full fee agents. I'm a full fee agent. I'm very clear in fact, I might talk to you, John, and go, hey, John, I'm a full fee, full service broker. That may not fit for you. Are you looking for a professional? You see it right now in listings. So it's going to be the same thing with buyers. There's going to be a buyer pool that wants a discounted service. That's okay. They've been around for years. You're going to see the full fee brokers, full service brokers step up and offer that extra level of service and knowledge. And I think knowledge to me is finally going to have a bigger price tag, because I believe that, new Betty broker that just got her license, if she's going to service you, John, and go out and find a $500,000 home, new Betty broker might only be worth 1%. She's new, she's practicing on you. I'm worth more than that. I know my value. So if the seller or the buyer wants to hire and have independent brokers practice on their biggest asset, by all means, you could have always done it. For 24 years, I've gone up against sellers that said, oh, I went with another broker because they offered me X%. Good for you. I'm glad we're not in communication anymore, because that's not my demographic. I don't want your friends. I don't want your future business, because you don't see value in what I do. So I'm looking for people that value what I do and want that level of service. And I think you can feel it when you talk to somebody who's good and who's going to lead you. And you can feel it when you're being led and you have a seller or a buyer that wants to lead. Those are not my people. I provide a service. I provide advice. You don't have to take it. But I always start with, this is my process. It's my process. When you go to an attorney's office or a doctor's office, you don't say, hey, by the way, I've got a process I'd like you to follow, Mr. Attorney. No, this is my process at our brokerage, at our firm, at the doctor's office. So I think when you lead with that strong ability and confidence, people are like, I'll pay, fine, this is what I need. And so, with me, you survive. Without me, you die.